Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Wherever you're connecting from, I'd like to know where you're connecting from. And thank you for being on this show today. This is another Monday, making a difference every day with Sandra Oko. We are called out to make a difference in our world. We are a difference maker. And today I'm excited. I have a special guest with me. His name is Andrew Mann. But before I bring him on board, I'd like to just let you know what the show is all about. We bring people different color to share their story with us. Story of trauma, story of from zero to hero, story of pains and things they've been through, so that we can learn from them, glean from them, learn from them by hearing their story and knowing how to go on in life. We all have a journey. We have a journey that we must enjoy for us to get to the other side of life. And for us to be able to achieve and do more, then we need a mentor. We need people. We need people around us. We need a system. We need to have the right system for us to be able to do the right things. So I want to encourage you, if you do not have anyone, you are following a mentor, someone who can hold your hands and help you get to where you need to be. You need to get that. It can be in the first of a book, the book you read, people you meet around you, your church, your leaders in church, or somewhere. But just find somebody you can follow, either a mentor in your business, a mentor in a particular area of your life that you want to strengthen. You just must look for that person. And I want to thank you and welcome you again for being on this show. My name is Sandra Uko. I'm a Maxwell Leadership Certified Team Member Coach and Trainer. I'm a member of the Toastmasters as the Vice President Public Relations, a best-selling author, an IT sales expert of over 20 years, and also just recently got gifted with the Presidential Lifetime Award. So I'm excited to be on this show today as one of our guests will be speaking with us, sharing a story with us. And the next person you get to see is Andrew Mans. So you'll be telling us a story. I'm excited to have you, sir. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much, Sandra. I am excited to be here. I love what you're doing on this platform. I've had the opportunity to look at a number of programs that you've done, and you bring in such exciting people, and the energy that you project in your videos. I have to be very transparent with you. Is that all right, Sandra?
Yeah, good, good, good. Feedbacks are good.
Okay. So the best video that you did, and you know where I'm going with this, right?
I do.
Is the one that you did at the beginning of the year, bringing in the new year, when you were in your home dancing, and I just love that you projected so much energy, the excitement on your face, and then when your children came in, oh, I loved it. I loved it. Your daughter cracked me up. She came in, and then she
She's
looked at
hearing
the
you.
camera, and then she backed right out, and then she came back in, and then she came back out, and then your son just jumped in. Yeah, I'm here. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. It was great. That that showed such a warm human side of you and your family, and I'm just very appreciative of that. So thank you so much for that, Sandra.
Thank you so much. That excited me. That excited me. I didn't know you were going to stumble on that video. But we just needed to usher in the new year. Very expectant, very exciting, and thankful. After living a life, 2023 and entering a brand new year, you just want to welcome the people into a good, great year. Of great expectation. That was the reason I did it, because I was just like, what do I need to do differently? And that was the thought just came to mind.
That was perfect. That was perfect. Do it again.
Oh, okay. It's another one coming up. Easter. So I'm going to do something great again. Some dancing.
Outstanding. Outstanding.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, I was listening to your introduction, and it just amazed me that you're a Toastmaster, but more importantly, you're the vice president of public relations.
Sure.
And I said, I didn't know that. And for 2 years, I was the vice president of public relations for my chapter in New Jersey.
This is my second year running. By June, I would have done 2 years.
Outstanding. So the universe is bringing us Toastmasters together.
Awesome. Awesome. That's a great place to belong. And for viewers who are just hearing it out, check around your environment. Maybe there's a Toastmasters around you. You can do it virtually now. Now, after COVID, everything went on virtual. So you can be somewhere else. I'm in Maryland. I used to be in Georgia with my team members. But when I moved to Maryland, I said, this is a virtual world. So I joined them every other Tuesdays to do the Toastmasters meeting. And it's been exciting for me. It's been exciting. So great. And so it's a place for you to belong, to just improve your leadership skills, learning how to speak and the presence, getting constructive feedback. That's the positive about it. People get to tell you how you're doing, how you're growing, and they're there to support you and they're there to support you and see you grow.
Absolutely. So I guess we're doing a commercial for Toastmasters. Will they pay us for that?
And they have to pay. They have to. I'm excited. So great to have you and Romance. You have a lot of energy too. So much energy. And sometimes when you're on same level of energy, oh my God, it's exciting. Very. Thank you so much. My audience would like to know you. So
Great.
what's your name? What are you doing? How you been? How you making a difference in your world? I know that when I saw your resume, I don't want to say I was intimidated. It was more than 2 pages, and I'm like, when do I have to start this? When do I have to finish it? And I said, well, Andrew will be a better person to introduce himself. At least you'll be able to summarize it. Tell us what you want to know. You want the audience to know because it is so much. You're doing a great work, sir. Well done.
Well, I'm honored and thank you for those kind words. Let me just give you a thumbnail sketch of me. I'm calling in from the great state of New Jersey off exit 9 off the New Jersey Turnpike, and my mission, purpose, and vision in life is to break down barriers and build bridges between philanthropic foundations and inner city nonprofits to build collaboration and significant partnerships to make a difference in the lives of children, their families, family, one child, one neighborhood at a time. Now, that's a mouthful. And so I can begin by telling you this. I'm originally from Buffalo, New York, three siblings and of a single parent. My mother was, hmm?
No, go ahead.
Okay. My mother was a life learner. She only had a high school degree, but she emphasized reading. And one lesson that she taught me was every family needs to have a library in the home. She emphasized that. And we had a small library, but she also fed my hunger and thirst for for reading. So we always had books around. And that's what made a difference for me. She always took us to the library. We're always reading. Library was a second home for me. And then when I was in high school, my mother found a program for me. It was called the Creative Learning Institute at the University of Buffalo. Sandra, that was life changing for me. And the reason is that program, which involved mostly young black kids from the city of inner city of Buffalo, taught us how to think differently, how to solve problems, how to think critically. And that has carried with me all through my college years and professional career. That's what made the difference, as well as my mother emphasizing the importance of learning and reading. And as an aside, my mother was an amazing cook, and she was the our home was the hangout place for the whole neighborhood. So so I ultimately went on, graduated from college, got an undergraduate degree, a master's degree, worked for an international consulting firm, and ultimately ended up getting a law degree from Rutgers University. And I practiced law for about 35 years as a criminal defense attorney in New Jersey, representing children, adults, children who were abused and neglected. And towards the end of my career, I was the drug court attorney in New Jersey. And for your audience, drug court is a diversionary program for people who have drug addicted problems. And the alternative is to get into this program for 5 years or go to prison. And so I was instrumental in helping people to turn their lives around by not only getting them into the program, but shepherding them through the program. And finally, I am a father. I have 6 wonderful children, 4 boys, 2 girls, and 4 grandchildren. My oldest son is living with his family in the south of France with his 2 children. And my other children are here in the States, but scattered all over.
Awesome. You have a nation in there. That's a great word. Thank you so much for introducing yourself. That was a long one. Well, your mom did a great thing by pushing you into that group where you learned the Lord. That was like a starting point for you. That was like a catalyst, pouring you to doing great things for your community
Thank
and
you.
for yourself. Yeah, I'm excited to have you on this show and we want to glean from you. We want to find out from you how it all started. Was life so easy for you? How did you weather the storm? How did you go through those difficult moments? You know, being a child of a single parent, I know sometimes it might not be too easy to eat, to feed, to go to school. How did you go through those moments?
My mother was a praying woman, a woman of faith, and that was our foundation, and that enabled us to get through some rather tough times. Like any, no different than anybody else, we struggled, but my mother emphasized the value and importance of family, and that we need to stick together. And one of the lessons I took from her is that the family is the smallest fighting unit that needs to stay together and work together because in order to overcome the storms that come our way. And let as the leader of our home, she modeled that behavior, and I'm forever grateful for that.
Awesome, awesome. That's a great one you just said. Having been being in a family, and that's one word that rings a bell to me. That there's nothing like being in a family. When the devil wants to strike, he tries to separate you, tries to put you in a corner. And so when you are in a group or in a system, it is pretty difficult for you to start thinking something or the devil having an access to you. And so that's the importance of knowing that being what environment are you plugged in? What system are you growing in? Your system really does matter. You rightly said it, your mom said the family was so crucial for you to be able to go through the storm and overcome. And right here, you're here doing great things and impacting your word. Thank you so much. And then want to find out, being did you start working very early in life, or your mom was just the breadwinner? How did you support her? Was the support system your mom had to be able to take care of you guys properly?
Well, she was able to take care of us um, until I left for college. I had some medical issues that put me on the bench for a few years. But with her care, I was able to work through those issues. And the one thing that I remember is that as I was leaving home to college, my roommate was driving me there. She gave me a hug, and for people who understand what poor Black people do, they don't have a lot, but what they give you, they give what they can. And
Yeah,
so as my mother hugged me, and I knew that she didn't have much money, she shoved a small thing, some balled up money in her hand, and she gave it to me. And as I got into the car and I looked at it, it was $50. That was a sacrifice for her.
that was it indeed.
I could not let her down. And so I took the money that she gave me, that $50, and I turned it in to a 4-year education at Syracuse University. I worked hard. I got my grades in a situation where I could, get a scholarship, but I worked several jobs to make that happen. And I graduated on time in the 4 years. And not only that, I I contributed to the university. And you say, well, Andrew, how did you contribute to the university? One of my passions when I got to Syracuse, I don't know where it came from. Well, yeah, I do know where it came from. I just had this desire to go on the radio. Never had any real experience, but I knew inside that I could do it. So I went to the radio station. I said, "Hey, I'd like to be a DJ." And and the people didn't look like me, and they said, "Well, you're going to have to do an audition." Fine, no problem. They took me in a room, gave me, said, "Well, okay, here's the mic, do your thing," and I did it, and it blew the guy away. And he said, "You're hired." And
Really?
and so I started there. The only spot that they had open was a top 40 disc jockey, which that was not my interest, but I said, "Hey, I'm in. I'm going to do that." Long story short, got in there. I was elevated. I was appointed to their management team, which was never done before. And I went out and started recruiting Black and brown people to become on the air talent and to work within the station. Now, one quick story. There was one individual. His name is Cephas Bowles. He was a year behind me, but we were in a class together. He was from the city of Newark, and he was working his way through college as a dishwasher. I asked him, I said, "Are you interested in radio?" He said, "No, television. That's the key. I want to be on television." I said, "Okay, fine." There was an opening at the station for an engineer. I said, "You need to apply for it." He applied, got the job. It was a paid position. He became the first Black engineer paid at that station. He made enough money to quit the dishwasher job
Mhm.
and work there. We became very close friends. I taught him everything I knew about the music, which is jazz, and about programming. Long story short, that gentleman, and you can Google him, became the CEO and president of WBGO FM 88, the world class jazz station in Newark, New Jersey. It is
Wow.
the it is the jewel of NPR. And if he was still alive, he would tell you that I was the one that taught him everything he knows about radio.
Wow. Awesome.
So I can identify good talent.
Yeah, but when you started, oh, I was so emotional. When you told me your mom cues that note into your hands, I was like, she gave all she knew, all she heard. And I was so proud to hear you say that $50, you turned it into a 4 years education. You got 7 jobs in the midst of all. Awesome, awesome. It's not a time to chicken out when things are not moving. It is time to stand headlong, take the bull by the horn, and just move into the storm and conquer. Yes, it's not going to be easy. Not taking risk is even more riskier. So, but going into the storm, that was awesome. Great story. Great story. And it didn't even, you can imagine, even in his pain, even in his, low moments, he was able to influence his community. That gentleman you brought in will never forget you, even his family members, because you did not just, do it yourself. Like I would often tell people, leaders are not born. Leaders, just like you rightly said, you created a leader in that man. You could have as well keep information to yourself. You have all the information. You didn't pass it on to him. But you stretched out, you reached out to your community, you were able to impact others, even in the times where you did have things going well for you. That was awesome. That's awesome, sir. That is very awesome. Biggest. I want to find out from you during those process, what was the biggest challenge in becoming a success in that radio station?
It was helping to guide the people that didn't look like me, helping them to understand the value that I brought to the table, the value of our art, the music, and establishing a rapport with them that they would trust me with those kinds of engagements and dialogue. And as a result of that, over a period of time, I became the program manager for that station uh, for a period of time, which was rather interesting. It was controversial, but I'm used to controversy. but but I was able to bring in music and students from different cultures into the station that was never done before. And the station at that time was what they called alternative music, bluegrass and rock and that sort of thing. And I told them that this station was going to go 24/7 jazz. And everybody laughed at me. Guess what, Sandra? 30 years later, the station went 24/7 jazz. That showed that there was a hunger and thirst for the music that I love so much, America's original art form, otherwise known as jazz.
You know what I just got from your story? You didn't just go in there to do the task that was given to you. You
Mhm.
went far and above. You stretched yourself. You gave more than was expected of you. And that was why you were able to stand out. And no wonder they wanted you in the management team. Because I often tell people that character is a fragrance. You can hide a fragrance, it will smell out.
Mm,
So being authentic is visible to others. People get to see it in you, how truthful you are. You are not just doing what you can do to get your pay, but you were going far and above what was your job JD. That's job description. You went far and above. And there is nowhere in the world where you do things beyond the ordinary that people would not appreciate or applaud you or want you to be part of them forever because you've left a mark in the sand of times. You've done what no one has done. And you know what brings about that is your authenticity,
mm,
trying to leave a mark in the sand of times. And so that spoke well, and that's what, is keeping you. Because I often will tell people that whatever you do, you don't need to tell people. People get to see it. People read in between the lines. People can read you,
mm.
and no wonder the organization would want to have someone like you for as long as they would. And that's why you want to make you a part owner so you don't have to leave. Because if you're not part owner, if you get a better offer somewhere, you might want to leave the next day. So in order to keep people, that's why I often tell organization when you have a good hand, try and give them perks or things that will keep them longer with you. Because the longer you have them, they think, okay, how do I impact my company? What more can I do, to get them to where they need to be? That's a great one, sir. Then I want to find out from you when you left the organization. Did you leave on your own volition? Did you leave to go start your company? Or it was time for you to leave and you just felt it was good for you to go?
I had completed I wanted to stay because for me, radio just tapped so much of who I was, the creativity, the ability to connect with people through this medium of radio, the sound waves, not seeing people, but with my instrument, my voice, connecting with people and touching their lives and adding value to them through the music, through the poetry I would read, through the public affairs, through the production of other programs that I did when I was there. I really loved that. I made a decision. I took a job with an international consulting firm that had me traveling all over the country. And then I ultimately ended up in New Jersey working for local government. And after that, I decided to go to law school. So the aspect of actual radio left me, but the skills I learned, which is basically how to package messaging, how to market, public relations, that's my strongest skill set. And today, and for the last 30 some odd years, I've helped businesses craft their message, help them to exponentially grow their business. I also put in significant time in working with nonprofits, which is also my heart. Since 1986, I was the chairman of the board of directors for the Greater Life Community Outreach Center, which is a community center in Newark since 1986. And under my leadership, we raised more than $3 million to support the mission of that nonprofit. And so that's why today I work with so many other nonprofits. And like you said, I love that phrase, that leadership is a fragrance that people pick up right away. I'm going to steal that line from you because because that's in fact what happens. I've never gone after a leadership position in a nonprofit. They've come to me. Why? I don't know. But it may be because of the fragrance that you talked about.
No, true, because you can't hide your character. Character is something you can hide. If a man steps into this room, the moment the man speaks, I can tell you what quality the person is, because it is said that out of the abundance of your heart you speak. So what have you put inside of you? Have you given yourself to personal development? What is it that you feed on day in and day out? So people don't know that the more you take in, the day you have an avenue to talk, you're going to speak from that abundance. And that's why the computer will say garbage in, garbage out. So if you put rubbish in there, you get rubbish out. So that's why we must be careful. What are we exposing ourselves to? What are we exposing our children to? What are we feeding our lives on? Because those things will surely come out. You can hide for too long because that is what will make you. What you give yourself to daily will make you. If you ask anyone, we are all sum total of the decisions we've made years back. Are you making a right decision? What are the decisions you've made that is taking you to your goals? Sometimes I tell people when things are not working out for you, check the decisions you made in the last 5 years. If they're not taking you to where you want to be, then you have to correct that decision. You have to think and put it right so you can get to where you want to go. So that's a lot you've just shared with us. I want to say thank you. It's so potent that, like I rightly said, authenticity, you can see it in the human, you can see it in the eyes, you can see it in the speech and the things that people do. You can't hide for too long. People get to notice you. And that is because you're authentic, you're your real self. You're not trying to be somebody else, but you are just yourself doing things the way you're taught. And that's because, you've been exposed to difficult moments. You've grown through those difficult moments and you have learned. And that's why you tell people experience is an asset. You don't buy experience in the market. You don't read it from a book. It is what you've been through. You've tried it the first year, second year, third year, 10 years, 20 years down the line, you will get better. And that's why I speak about compounding. Whatever you know how to do, keep doing good. And as you keep doing it, it keeps compounding. You keep learning new ways of improving. You keep doing things in a new way. Like, mistake, when you make mistake, it is said there's another way of doing things differently. So you must be ready to venture. You must be ready to take risk. You must be ready to try new things out. That's only the time we create new things and we get better. So I want to say thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for sharing your authenticity. We can see that in you. We can read that in you. And I'm sure our guests too, our audience too, would have seen that. And before we call it today, how have you maintained the relationships around you? Because I tell people, I said, money and relationship cannot be on the same pedestal. Relationship, when lost, might not be gotten back. But money, you can always work for money and money will be gotten back. But so Beyond that, I go for relationship. I make sure I don't burn the bridges, like you rightly said. What you do, you build bridges. Ensuring, because you never know who is that destiny helper or that catalyst personality that will come into your life and help guide you into what you want to become. So, can you share your story about the relationships that have been in your life, how you've managed them, and how they've been a positive impact on you?
My framework is threefold. One, curiosity. Two, wonder. And three, value. I am always curious about people. I have that child sense of wonder, and I always leave people with added value. And
Awesome.
because others have poured into me. When I was in college, there was a gentleman, his name is Grant Williams. He was the security officer at the campus. He was in charge of the canine crew. Just a mild mannered guy, very friendly, very approachable. He mentored me for the 4 years I was there. I understand the value of mentorship, and I
Mm.
honor him as well as my mother in everything that I've done moving forward. There was a group of young men, about six of them. They were 15 years old, and my partner, part of the Greater Life, brought them to my office in New Brunswick. And from that point on, I mentored them. They are now adults, 35 years old now.
Wow.
Here's
Awesome.
here's the thing. They were at our community center, and I took a picture of them. They were with their children. These
Beautiful.
men, these men are present and involved with their children. That's the proudest picture that I have.
Awesome. 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 You can, oh, you rightly said it. Like John Maxwell will often say, people of value who sees value in themselves, they go all out there to add value to others. So you must see value in yourself for you to be able to add value to others. I was impressed, seeing this young boys that you mentored, and now 20 years down the line, they're fathers, and you can see the impact. And that's why I said we are all called out to be difference maker. You want to check your environment. What are you doing? How are you impacting lives? The young boys around you, why didn't you pick them and mentor them? Why didn't you call them closer? Ask them what they're doing and finding out how you can be of help. Like he rightly said, two people he would never forget, his mother and the guy that mentored him. So mentorship cannot be overemphasized. You need it in different aspects of your life. Just find out where you need help and look out for a mentor to help you. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate those words. Those words were mind blowing for me. And I guess so also for my audience too. It's a learning curve knowing that you cannot do it alone, knowing that you cannot challenge yourself alone. I read the 15 invaluable laws of growth, where he was talking about laws of expansion. How do you expand? How do you improve? If you're not looking up to anybody, if you don't have someone that you're looking up to, how can you improve? So you cannot do it alone because you cannot challenge yourself all the time. But when you have somebody up there who has done the business you want to get into, who has gone to college to study the same course you are about entry, you find that you get motivated. You have someone you're looking up to, someone who can guide you along that journey. So it's so essential to ensure that you have someone around you who is talking and who is mentoring you. Thank you so much. I appreciate the time with us together. And I
Thank
also
you,
want
thank
to
you,
thank
thank you, Sandra. Thank you
I
for
also
your
want to thank our audience for
thank
being on
your
this.
graciousness. Absolutely.
Thank you so much. And perhaps it's your first time to be in on this show. I want to say thank you. I also want to thank you and also let you know that leaders are the ones who know it and they show and share with others. So please go out. If this has been a blessing to you, please share it with others. Be a blessing to them. Show and share the link with them. Thank you so much. I do have a blessed evening. Till our next episode, let's go out there and dare to be a difference maker. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone. you've made it this far into this video, thank you for watching. And don't forget to subscribe so you can support your girl. Thank you.